Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Planetbase. We're in really good shape here, building another biodome. I could see food becoming an issue. Are we still allowing new people to show up? No, we're not. Okay. Well, we can take some more. I think we're okay. Let us check out... Okay, food has been... Okay, we're not really building it up anymore, so maybe we shouldn't get more people. Yeah, let's just hang on to that. Yeah, bioplastic is definitely the issue. Medicine is a good thing to start building up, probably. Money, of course, has been going up. What do we want to see here, really? Power? We've been dipping to about half empty, which is really good. That's good to see. We're not running out of power. So we're pretty happy with where things are now. You can see it's not really changing that much over the last 6 days, so we're probably just going to leave that there. Water, we don't have storage for. Right? Yeah. I'd kind of like to start storing water. Let's try to do that. I don't really want to do it here because if I want to build more buildings out this way, I need that kind of avenue to get out there. Where the hell would I put it? I mean, this is a dead end, so maybe here. Let's check out what this trading ship has. Yeah, I think we want that. Trade away 10. I think we're gonna have to trade away money. Could do like 10 vegetables, but that's not really gonna get me that far. That's fine, right? Yeah. Make the trade. I'm pretty okay with that. Patents and things like that are always good to get. However, whatever they cost, more or less. You can put it like right there. It's an awkward place maybe to put it. Doesn't really make sense to have water storage there, but it's, you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna stress over it much. It's good to have it at all. Alright, blizzard's coming, that's not great, but we'll live. Especially because this is getting built, which is gonna be a major boon for us. We have people who are unhappy. This is illogical to me. No one should be unhappy right now. I guess we need a bar, maybe? We probably need a bar and a second canteen, so we'll do that over... Probably over this way makes the most sense, I think, right? Okay, we have a lot of people stuck outside right now. Okay, that blizzard wasn't too bad. Water tank's filling up. I don't really need to worry about that right now. That's more just an insurance policy against stuff going wrong. Okay, so this is built, so we need starch first thing first. That's not up for debate, really. I like... I mean... I just want to have a variety, I guess. Two rice, and then we'll do potatoes there. I'm a little worried about these being high maintenance, but I think we can manage. We'll be alright, hopefully. I don't understand why we're not making more medicine. Or why people are unhappy, but... I mean... We're fine, I guess. I mean, we're fine. I shouldn't worry about it. I do kind of want to get more people, though. I just worry about bioplastic. This might put us over the edge on water, by the way. I might need to expand that. Should take a look at power. Nah, it's still only really getting down to about halfway. What do we got? Wind turbine? Yeah, no. That's not happening. Okay. Well. Problem there. Good. I can kind of game it a little. I think I'm very much content with this trade. Yeah. Why am I trading money for money? Don't ask. just don't ask. Technically I lost out a little bit on that. I would have been able to afford more if I hadn't done it that way, but it's fine. It's fine, it doesn't matter. The important thing is we got a whole bunch of bioplastic out of that, which is going to help us jumpstart our resolution of that particular issue, which is definitely a problem. Guards make sense now. I kind of want it to come out of engineers, though. Yeah. I wish it didn't work that way. I hate that you have to be like, okay, where did it put the percentage and like figure out where it went. That's really annoying. It should just dump it into a side thing and then make you save it, basically. That would be much better. Really? Should not be running out of spares. Like, oh yeah, okay. Spares take bioplastic for some reason. That's fine. That went pretty quick. It's gonna take him quite a while to bring stuff in, but that's fine. No need to stress. Feels like it's been a little while since I recorded. Not this specifically, just like anything. But it hasn't really, it's been like one day. I just kind of like Friday night and Saturday, all of Saturday just kind of went into a black hole. I've just been out. Like, I don't know what it is, like Friday itself was kind of stressful in that it was nothing that I directly had to do much about. I mean, there was stuff I had to do, but it didn't really make my job harder. But it was just sort of like chaos. I was watching a few things kind of fall apart, which was really stressful, I guess, for some reason, even though it wasn't really anything I needed to do anything about. It's just, you ever have one of those, not even, it wasn't even really an all hands on deck kind of thing. It was just like, hey, this thing went wrong. And I'm like, oh, shit. I just kind of spent the whole day hearing about it because I wasn't directly involved in any way. Didn't affect my part of the company at all, so I'm just kind of like, okay, well. And you know, by the way, I'm not saying like something catastrophic went wrong and the business is in jeopardy. That's not it at all. You know, there's always... The way humans work, Really like to get that driller bot, but I'd much more like to get the money. We need to restock. But I think I can get both. I cannot get both. Can I? No, but I don't really need the robot. This is fine, right? This is fine. So the way humans work, and you can notice this in yourself, and it's good to catch yourself doing this sometimes, I think, because it helps you gain perspective and kind of like, oh wait, this is not. It helps you settle down sometimes. As a person, you're geared to see. Think about a chart. Just a chart. It's just a chart, line graph, very basic thing, and it shows the best moments in your life and the worst moments in your life. You think the upper and lower limits, say the lower limit, the worst part of your life. Do you think the lower limit is based on the worst part of anyone's life or your life? It's based on the worst part of your life. So I think to a degree, even if you have a really good life or things are going really well, and it works in the short term too, it's not even necessarily your whole life. For some people it depends. Some people kind of have short memories, but anyway, point is, like, whatever the worst thing that happens to you is, whether it's like losing a limb or getting cancer, or like, hey, I got a $20 parking fine or something, like, you're gonna feel like that's terrible. Like the $20 parking fine feels much closer than it should in the short term. Only in the short term. I'm not talking long term, but in the short term. If that's the worst thing that's happened to you, your brain kind of like reacts to it the same way as like something actually traumatic and horrible. And I'm exaggerating, this is hyperbole, of course, but you get the idea, right? Like, you have a tendency to react much more seriously to something, even if it's not really a big deal, because that's the biggest deal that happened to you. You know, that's what happened in your life, so you're reacting to that. You don't necessarily have that context of, hey, well, at least you didn't lose your leg today. Like, it's hard to do that. So at work, you know, if nothing has really, there hasn't really been any adversity in a while, and things have been pretty calm this week, and something goes wrong, even if it's not that big of a deal, especially if it involves several people, like, you can get kind of a critical mass of people freaking out going, where it's like, everything is good until now, what happened, why is this so bad? Like, it's not really that big of a deal, but people treat it that way because of course they do, they're human, you know? So when I say this, nothing went that bad at work, it's just, but it still feels that way, you know? Because that's how humans work, you know? It's part of being a human. It's fine. But I feel like it kind of hit me weird. Like, it doesn't, I don't usually react in this way. I'm usually just like, oh, I don't really care. I like to think, if I'm interacting with someone who I don't know that well, or I'm not close to, I am a very, very laid-back person for the most part. Because the beautiful thing about life, and this is what, okay, this is gonna get maybe a little bit dark, but you can, well, no, there's kind of two aspects to this, so I'll kind of try to approach it from two different angles. The first one is about control. Okay, there's the bar, that's what I want to make. You can have terrible things happen to you in your life. Like, really terrible things happen to you. And I'm trying to think of how best to say this without kind of, well, you'll understand. Well, maybe you'll understand. I have no idea if you'll understand. But basically, I've had some awful things happen to me in my life. Nothing really that bad in the long term, but in the short term, it was horrifying and really scary. But one lesson that I took from that, and I knew it before, but I didn't live it. There's a difference between knowing something and like actually being able to get it, you know? And getting it was really helpful in life. But anyway, sometimes you just have to understand what you control and what you don't control. And if you don't control something, it doesn't help to worry about it. You just have to think, alright, well, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. Now I have to figure out where I go from here. And that's really what it boils down to in a lot of situations. You just kind of have to understand, like, look, I'm not going to be able to do anything about this, so I should just calm down, figure out what I can do, and move on as best as I can. And that's not easy. That can be really difficult, but it sometimes is kind of what you have to do. Can I afford that? Probably. Yeah, should I afford that though? I think I'd be better off saving. Anyway, so understand, like, being able to kind of shut your brain up sometime, because your brain will just be like, oh, this is terrible, and it's really easy to get lost in that feeling and be stressed and depressed and everything. And I've been there a lot of times, many times I've been there. But if you can kind of force yourself to understand, like, look, I have no control over this. It doesn't, however horrible it is or any of that, doesn't matter because I don't have control. So I just need to say, okay, look, it is what it is. If I get an opportunity, I'll try to make it better. But if I can't, then I just need to understand that and live with it. And sure, it might suck, but life goes on. It's not like you can just say, oh, that's unfair, and go complain to anyone, really, and have it be resolved. Most of the time, no one cares. It's your problem to live with. And, you know, there might be people who care, but maybe, you know, maybe they can't do anything about it. Like, if you have a serious medical issue, people can sit there and cry and feel sorry for you all day. It's not going to change the fact that you have whatever it is. Might be cancer, might be something else. You know, you don't... Just because people feel sorry for you doesn't mean it changes. So it's not a simple... Sometimes there is no answer to something, and you just have to accept it and move on, is kind of what I'm getting at. And understanding that and being able to work with it is important. And it's a big life lesson that is really helpful to learn, because it makes it a lot easier to deal with trauma. I don't... What would be the word for this? I don't... It's not resent, but I'm going to use resent. I don't resent anyone who doesn't or isn't able to do that, because it's not an easy thing to do. And it's not the kind of thing that you really necessarily feel like you even have control over a lot of the time. It's just kind of like, that's what my brain does. I can't shut it off. It's going to do that, so sorry. You don't really have much agency there a lot of the time, so I don't hold that against anyone. The other thing is that maybe this is just a part of life in general, but the more that I live, the more that I see, basically, money, the biggest, most valuable thing that money does, more than anything else in life, is not give you luxury. The most important thing it does is insulate you from risk. And I'll use an example of this. About a year ago, I think it was now, I purchased, in conjunction with my family, a property to rent far away from where I live. Like, not super far, but far enough that it's not somewhere that I could go without making that the thing that I was doing that day. Exclusive, and I wouldn't be able to do anything else that day. It's far enough away that you would take a plane, ideally, though you don't have to. Our first tenant was a rental property. Turned out to be someone who needed a place because they burned their last place down. Because I don't know the details. It lit a candle and it tipped over. I don't know. They didn't do it deliberately is the point, but it happened. So you're thinking, you know, the first question is like, man, do we rent to these people? What if they burn down our place? Well, that's the question, isn't it? The answer is, why would I care if they burn down our place? Insurance is a beautiful thing. It's covered. So that's what I mean. Like, the more you look out there in the world, like, insurance kind of does a lot. And I think if you don't have, like, you don't see a situation where you have a rental property and, like, I don't care if he burns it down. If he gets burned down, we get covered for the rent that we're missing out and also the cost of rebuilding the property from the insurance company on our insurance. And that's not even talking about whatever they have going on. So why would we care? What difference does it make? If they burn it down, great, we get to remodel and make it nicer. It's even a good thing. I mean, yeah, we have to put work into it, but we get value out of that work, and the property has more value as a result. So why would you care? And that kind of, like, when you're just thinking about auto insurance and car and health insurance, or maybe even life insurance, it's easy to kind of miss what that does for you in life. The value that provides. Like, it insulates you from risk. And risk is really kind of one of the only scary things in life, because that's one of the, you can do something about it, you do have some control over it, but not everyone does. Death can come for anyone at any time. Dying is... I understand being afraid of dying, but it's one of those things that's out of your control. Like, a lot of the time, either you're dying or you're not. And if you're not, then great, and if you are, then you may not have any control over it, so it's just sort of, okay, this is reality and I have to live with it. It really helps to have life insurance so that you can live with it, or your loved ones can live with it. It's a big deal, and it's all about mitigating risk, and that seems to be kind of the way our society to a degree works. Is it's all about how well you can mitigate risk, which is kind of interesting. Something I feel like I've learned. In this case, I'm going to go for the bot, I think. I want that robot. I also just want to get rid of some of my stuff. I deliberately did that so I could click shift and get 10, but I didn't do it. Whatever. Power storage is... Ooh, I should have been careful. Okay, let's resolve this issue. This is scary. I know we're over time here, but I think we go up here. I don't really like building this far out, but maybe like right there. Whatever. It'll work. But yeah, like, business in our society kind of revolves around mitigating risk, I think. Managing risk as well. Sometimes managing risk just means having savings, that's it. But sometimes it means insurance, and sometimes it means not doing something that you might have otherwise done. But yeah, interesting aspect of life, I think. So between those two things, kind of nothing is really all that scary at that point, because either it's out of your control and you can't do anything about it, or if you've done things properly, you've mitigated the risk and you've done everything you can. So at that point, what's there to be afraid of? And kind of the more I think about that stuff, the more I'm like, well, you know, whatever bad things happen, like, I kind of generally am fortunate enough that I'm alright. Things are kind of not taken care of. Terrible things could happen to me easily, but nothing that I have control of, really. And if things happen to me that I don't have control of in the moment, it'll be horrifying and terrible and scary, but when it's not happening to me, like right now, why worry about it? I don't have any control. It's just, it's whatever's gonna happen, happens. So yeah, anyway, overall point is life sometimes can be incredibly stressful and painful and difficult, but it helps to sometimes, depending on what the issue is, take a step back and just, you know, not so bad. Stuff may be going wrong, but big picture, we're okay. It's not so bad. So, anyway, it's some stuff that's been on my mind, especially since Saturday basically just disappeared. I don't know what the hell happened. I was just playing Monster Hunter all day. So I do know what happened, but that's besides the point. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. If you did enjoy it, feel free to come by twitch.tv/electronicmoose. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Feel free to check out a stream if you'd like. If not, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.